Well, YouTube is such a dominant player across the world, and they're looking to take their presence to the next level with a rather bold move. For more, we're joined by Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. How are you today?
Very well. How are you?
Going well. YouTube is a big thing. I actually love YouTube. Do you get on YouTube much? You would, wouldn't you? You'd love it.
Every day, every day. And there's been some studies to show that it's actually the most popular social media platform in Australia. And
Right.
by far, they also say that it's the second most used search engine in the world after
Wow.
Google.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that. It's just the way they've done it with longer form videos, shorter form, they're covering everything. But tell us about what they're doing here. They're trying to expand their presence somewhat.
Yeah, so it's in the US, but they are building it's like a venue, a 6,000 seat live event venue, which is, in our times, imagine if someone came out and said they were going to do that here in Australia right now, you would think they were, a bit crazy, but yeah, so that's what they're doing. So I think they'll have, I guess, people, coming to watch events, but they'll also live stream, I think, and it'll be quite a big money earner if it all works, Who knows what's going to happen? It's quite a shifting landscape with in our post-COVID world. So yeah, I think it is a really bold move to actually build an event venue where people come face to face.
Yeah, well, it feels very far from Australia being able to do that. But I think America, you see their sporting events at the moment, they have fans in the stands, so they're going back to some normality. So why do you think this is, 6,000 is a huge number of seats. That's a stadium essentially. So do you think, I guess they have that much money, they can do whatever they want, really?
Yeah, well, I guess, and I think people they're just yearning to get out and do things again. So I think they can make it happen. I think it'll be hugely popular. And it'll be interesting to see the tech that they use to live stream these events as well. So people can, if they can't go, they can still participate. So I think this whole move about sort of hybrid events, and we're talking about gyms, the future coming up soon. I think this whole idea of hybrid, so live streaming and people in person, I think this is a way of the future. Well, it's actually now, really, and it's just a big development to come off after last year.
We spoke about virtual reality last week, but it's not always perfect when it comes to VR. What are you seeing here? Some people don't always love the experience.
Well, it's more about, I've seen reports about the actual headset. So the Facebook VR, I think it's called Oculus headset, is apparently causing a few dramas. It's their skins are reacting to it allegedly, and it's not very comfortable. So I think, it's still the tech is still in its infancy, really, in terms of being available to the mainstream. So I think this is something that they'll refine over time. And there's also been some critics to say that they just don't know what the actual physical impacts are going to be, particularly on children whose eyes are still developing. We just don't know if they're spending too much time in virtual reality, how are their eyes actually going to see actual reality? How will it affect them in a negative way?
Yeah, did you also see the story out of China? I think it was yesterday we were covering it, where there's a rule now that kids can only play video games. I think it's for 3 hours a week in total. So it's kind of similar to this. I guess they're just concerned about the being, but 3 hours a week. What do you think about that? That's quite a strict rule, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know how it's going to be imposed. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
that is really interesting because and games can be quite addictive as well. So there's been research into that side of things, not conducted by me, but but it's still understanding the actual impacts are still quite. There's still a long way to go, I think.
Yeah, there definitely can be. And the last one, we're talking about gyms in America. So they're trying to bring both online classes and in-person classes. They're kind of bringing them in together, which is not a bad idea, I think.
Yeah, well, it's actually been going on. Last year when everyone was on lockdown, they were streaming, doing sort of Zoom classes and things like that. And they've kept the Zoom aspect, even though they've opened up again. So there'll be people there to do the class in person, but people joining online. And they're saying that this also is what's going to happen now. Just so if there's many benefits around it, because it means that it's more accessible to people wherever they may be. And it's a great sort of money spinner as well, because it also opens that accessibility and people will pay for that. And it just, I guess, in the shifting sands of COVID as well, it means that businesses don't have to keep trying to implement the technology when things happen in response. It's just always there. So, if there's a lockdown, everyone will just go online, but it's just an easier transition.
Yeah, and I think in a way we have to get used to that, right? And just embrace it. And people say back to the new normal, or will it get normal again? It's like just combine the two, have these sort of offerings, at least have them both there so they can be used. I think that's quite wise. There's no doubt. Great to chat. Really interesting topics today. And have a wonderful day. We'll talk really soon.
Thanks so much.